Good afternoon. This is Danaya Azure Radio, and I have two phenomenal guests today. I have Lukas, who is an incredible artist, and I also have It's Time, who does graphic work and works in NFTs and just does so many phenomenal things. So this is a different kind of interview, guys. This is a conversation about how to not get screwed by NFTs. NFTs and crypto have been out there for a while, but people don't know about it or know what would you invest in, what's the best platform, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to answer all those questions today. And we have somebody else that just came in shorter. I need his camera on.
Yep, that's Shorter.
Cool. All right, Shorter, when you put your camera on, you can pop on for sure. Shorter, hello. And Shorter just joined us. Hello. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet everybody also. How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Good. So it's time. Go ahead. So how did you originally get into NFTs?
Well, actually, I wasn't in NFTs before I was into crypto and whatnot. And hey, Shorty, you got a little background there. You able?
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it. All right, so I got into NFTs in the first place. Is I wasn't even into NFTs. I was actually into crypto, and that's where a lot of people that would could be considered OGs in the space actually started. A lot of these people that get into these NFT projects because they understand and the value of the blockchain and what it can provide for these assets. Now, where you were saying, you said a little bit, people are getting scammed. People are scared to get into these things. And don't get me wrong, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be scary. You need to educate yourself. People forget NFTs are still decentralized finance. So the best thing that you can do is educate yourself. And and that's where NFTs are great for community building because they can connect you to so many individuals in the space that have sources of knowledge, outreach, and a lot of these people that have gained a real grasp on this technology are building real businesses, real LLCs, and really pioneering the ecosystem that's necessary to be able to sustain ourselves in this cryptocurrency era. So, I guess what I do a little bit, I'm a developer. I help.
Can I ask? It's time.
No, of course. What's up, dude?
Can I ask you to, when you said educate yourself, can you explain what that means in the Web3 NFT space?
Of course. All right. So when educating yourself, first thing you got to know is the language. How do we speak? Okay. We're speaking in vernacular that no one knows. It's a whole new language. Blockchain, marketplaces, signing a contract, minting, people don't know these basic terms in the space. So educating yourself on how to understand the language so you don't get into situations where you don't know what you're talking about, but at the same time, that's educating yourself, knowing how to speak, knowing the definitions of words so you can actually understand what the actual process is that's happening. Because we're talking about using code on the background of, no one can read the code really, not everyone can read the code. But if you understand the process of what's happening, and not only that, you understand the true power of the blockchain technology, how to protect yourself, how to take everything into your own hands and into your own control, that is the power and value that it provides.
Absolutely. And this is Danaya Azure Radio, and we are talking NFTs and how not to get screwed by NFTs with It's Real Time, Luke and Shorter. Luke, so what is your take? How did you originally get involved with NFTs and crypto?
So I've been a student of the economy for a really long time. I was a pretty serious competitive academic debater back when I was a teenager. And then and when I was doing that, when I was a sophomore in high school, I won the state.
You're cutting out, buddy.
Junior varsity.
You're rugging hard on us. You're rugging hard.
State tournament, legalizing cannabis and claiming that this would allow, this would empower us to produce all sorts of products that get us out of dependencies on corporations.
Gotcha.
So I've been a student of the economy for.
So yeah, Luke, you're rugging a little bit bad, but Luke actually lives out in Costa Rica, whatnot. So like
Right.
the connections reach.
Mm-hmm.
The connections reach all around the world, but I can't say the internet always does.
I got you. I know. That is the one dope thing about StreamYard is that you are able to connect with people from all over the world. So shout out to StreamYard for that, for sure. Shorter. You are on mute, sir. Hold on. Can I unmute you? Unmute. Come on.
Give you an explanation on the time I got into NFTs. I came into NFTs in my days of working into the Jobs Act,
Okay.
which was something that the Obama administration had put into law in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started to go into the different levels of crowdfunding and things like that through the Jobs Act, I started to realize the similarities in the NFT campaigns that I was dealing with and some of the NFT projects as I started to get involved with them. And this was like in 2020 when the pandemic was starting to hit.
Right.
But at that time, for me, I was in that space stating exactly what I'm stating now as far as the true value to the NFTs being more of a value for a glorified or a rewards program that's on steroids. That's basically what an NFT is very good for legitimate businesses right now. It's a way of being able to fund your business, fund your project, and at the same time provide utility and incentives for your clients and your business, your clientele. So that's pretty much the way that I use NFTs. So that the people who are using the NFT can get more engaged with their clientele, fan base, so forth.
So explain. You can either you can do it, or it's time. What exactly does NFT stand for those who have never heard the term before?
Non-fungible token.
So what exactly does that mean? I think that's what people get confused of. Like
Perfect.
they've heard it.
Perfect. All right. So in cryptocurrencies are actually called tokens. Okay, and tokens are interchangeable. Okay, if I have one Bitcoin, somebody is just as easily saying, "Hey, this other Bitcoin is worth this," so they can swap. Non-fungible means this NFT over here cannot be swapped with this NFT over here because of its unique identifiers that make that unique.
Gotcha. So it's not like just regular cash. Everything is different. Everything will have a different identifying number, which is why it's good for artists because they're able to track their pieces or their songs by the number.
Hey, if you don't mind, can I tag in on that? I like to.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So with the NFT, the easiest way for people to understand an NFT function, because it's something that we currently deal with and use today. Let's take your simple Cash App card. If you have your Cash App card with you, you can utilize your Cash App card at the store. You can actually pull it out and swipe it at the bank account. At the counter. But if you don't have your Cash App card on you, you can still electronically use it through your phone because of all the information be tied into a code that's on your phone. That's sort of like the metadata that's attached to a piece of art or attached to a wallet address in which the piece of art is attached to the same metadata. That is the exact same thing that we're doing with the NFT, and you have control of that yourself.
Awesome sauce. This is Danaya Azure Radio, and we are talking with It's Time and Shorter regarding NFTs and how not to get screwed by NFTs. Being safe when it comes to cryptocurrency and all of those fun things.
There's one thing I wanted to hop in and maybe, give to your audience is there's different types of NFTs. There's PFP projects. There's one-of-one art. There's how Shorter is using his as a reward system for his business. And being able to, first of all, find out what you're investing in is important.
Absolutely. What is a PFP?
A PFP is a profile picture collection, and so it's the idea of, you want a strong community. If people resonate with the art, and people, in that community of, built by, artists, or even a collection of artists to create this collection, people want to represent it, because that would, become that identifier of, hey, I'm a part of this community, I own this specific asset. And if you look at the blockchain and anything like that, really what it's creating is this digital line of credit, of trust. What it's, if everything can be found on the blockchain. If it happened, it happened. No one can change that.
Right.
And if I own this, profile picture that becomes popularized around, hey, these people are smart because, the technology that this community provides has given them that opportunity.
Gotcha.
So
that's when it comes to like all the different animal prints, like the oh my god, I forgot what the monkey. What's the monkey called? I forgot. The ape.
the apes. Yep. The
giraffes.
You got the Bored Ape Yacht Club. You got derivative projects of that. Then you also got Doodlegenics, which is a bear style PFP, and it's like there's this term called apes or bears and bulls in the space.
Okay.
And bulls in the space are, they want the price to go up. They're trying to push it up and everything like that. People that are bearish, when the prices start coming down, those are the people that are building. Those are the people that are building so that these, investors and whatnot can come back in. Because if nothing's being built, the price is just going to go down, down, down. If no one's there talking, no one's there interacting, you're not going to have anything successful. So when you have these apes, they have brought, higher levels of technology into the space, but no one can afford a $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 profile picture, basically, that gets you access to this environment. People got to go where they can afford stuff.
Exactly. Absolutely. Shorter, what were you going to say? Shorter? Oh, okay.
You there.
Hold on. I need him. Hold on. You're there you go. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just tagging in on exactly what It's Time was saying. And there's several different strategies that you can use an NFT for, and that's one of the empowerment things about utilizing the Web3, blockchain, and NFT technology. Understanding, like I hope I wasn't real vague with that Cash App description, because being a lot of people are saying, like, why are you paying for something that you can't touch? If people was charging for you to have access to your Cash App card, something that was going to be digitally attached to you forever, and the only thing that you had to do was make sure that you controlled it, then that's the exact same manner that we are operating in with an NFT. You have a digital wallet. Your NFT is placed in that digital wallet. Only you have access to that digital wallet, and then you have the rewards or the utility that comes with the NFT.
Gotcha, definitely. And that's the thing about it. Trying to make sure that you have access to your things and that you're able to keep your money or artwork or whatever safe. I think that's the biggest thing about it. So my question is, when it comes to either NFTs or crypto, what is the best way for a person to start if they want to get into that market?
I got this one.
I saw the hands going and everything. What?
All right. So like I said, the first things that you need to understand in this space is the vernacular. Okay. So a marketplace, a wallet, and what blockchain, first of all, you're going to be using. Okay. So with that being said, most people start with MetaMask if they're going to Ethereum. Okay. Well, if all you need, so downloading MetaMask. Okay. That's just, you go to the App Store, you look up MetaMask, and it has an orange fox on it with a white background. So that's where you would get your wallet. That's where, if somebody would like to, at that point, send you something, you can take your public address at the top of your wallet, send that to them, not your private keys. Your private keys are what protects your wallet. So going through step by step, you get your wallet downloaded, you open it up, and now you get your private keys, which those private keys are access to your wallet. If you lose your password, move to a different device, those are how you retrieve your funds without having a physical device. That's what creates this decentralized storage. Right. And so then now that allows you to receive NFTs and crypto. Okay.
Right.
If you want to put money to buy, someone else's stuff, if you would like to put money on that wallet to buy crypto, you either have to go use an exchange and connect your bank to that exchange to receive crypto, or let's say you have Cash App. Cash App now allows you to buy Bitcoin, where you could take that Bitcoin, go to an app like a decentralized exchange or an app like Changely.
Right.
And just change it right there. You send it to this address and it comes back. Don't get me wrong. I don't suggest go trying every fucking place that says, hey, send me your crypto and I'll send it back. Only trust certain place, certain trusted brands, projects, or names in the space that have obviously been here or widely used on a, consumer basis. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to some derivative of Facebook to go post something on Facebook.
Right.
Right. You making sure you're on the right thing. That's where you do a little research. Sometimes when you go into these listings, these Twitter spaces that, generally where a lot of people in crypto are, listen, find out what they're talking about, understand what they're talking about, make sure they're talking about something that actually makes sense. But you have your MetaMask wallet. Now you've received crypto. Now you could go buy somebody's NFT on a marketplace. And that is where you just have to do your own research into that project. First thing I can say is ask them this. Do they own their own smart contract? Okay. If they say, I don't know, or they mint it on OpenSea, I'll tell you right now, just maybe push them in the right direction of being truly decentralized with this technology. Because if say anyone can go create an NFT on OpenSea, but the problem with that is you don't actually own your own smart contract. OpenSea does. So if OpenSea goes down, so does you can't get that smart contract back. You can't control the functions inside the contract.
Right.
The only way you can do that is one platform I'd recommend is Third Web. A little bit more complicated, a little bit, you can watch YouTube videos to get caught up on a bunch of these things. But if you're walking through the space, look into Third Web. It will make you stand out from the rest, saying, I own my own smart contract. No one can take it from me, and it's on the blockchain where everyone can see it.
Definitely, for sure. Sure. Before you came back, we were talking about, what's one of the things that people who haven't ever done or worked with NFTs or crypto, what is one of the first things they can do?
Say that again.
So if someone is just getting into the space or wanting to get into the space, where's the first place they should go to look for information to make sure that they are in the right space to purchase an NFT or cryptocurrency?
Yeah, that's a process. That's not something that you should you should shop. You should actually spend time in the NFT spaces. You should get involved in Clubhouse, Twitter, some of the other social media platforms. LinkedIn has some NFT talk on it. There's a lot of NFT talk on YouTube, but you can find communities and NFT programs to deal with or that you resonate with. You have to do your own due diligence to this. So like Istime was saying, as far as educate yourself. No, educating yourself. Educating yourself doesn't mean just, hey, it's an NFT, I'm going to go buy it. You might want to find out what that NFT is doing. What's the roadmap to that NFT? What is the particular mission for that NFT, and what are the utilities that it brings? So in order to do all of that, you have to be a part of communities. You have to be in spaces where you're educating and you're hearing the jargon, you're being taught and understanding the utilities that are being built to some of these NFTs. then you might feel a little bit more comfortable about buying an NFT. So like, first thing to do is to, open your mind and go into the doors where you see NFTs are available at.
Definitely. What are one of the 3 red flags that something isn't right about an NFT?
Sure, I'll let you hit that one first, but I got a few.
Man, that's
Oh, there's a few apparently.
yeah. So that's the big issue. No, I'm not gonna say issue, but that's a bad spout in this area for several reasons. One, it's a decentralized space, right? But two, there's a lot of uneducated activity that goes on in the space. So people don't trust things because of things that they've seen by experience. Um, so in using a NFT to try to, like, say you're trying to do funding for your business and stuff like that. When you start doing rounds of funding with the NFT, and you start off with a PFP campaign, and then you start off with something else, or you bring out something else to continue to raise money, but you may not hit your check mark on your roadmap. First thing everybody's going to yell is it's a rug, but you got to take in consideration when you're doing these campaigns. These campaigns are really businesses. So these businesses, and everybody knows in business, the first 5 years you're not going to be profitable anyway. And these businesses hit rough roads because we're out here trying to fucking, climb Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro, and none of us have a goddamn scout, a guide, nothing, and we learn and we fall, we build back up and continue to grow. And that's what the community does. So, that's a hard one. You just got to come out here, learn how to eat the meat and spit out the fat, and digest the bones. You know what I'm saying? And it's several things can give you a key, but at the end of the day, everything ain't what it seems.
Absolutely.
I love how you didn't go on to the 1, 2, 3 because I wasn't about to either. And the reason I say that is because if you're spending money in this, space, generally you're investing. There might be a couple of people that, come out here and buy it because they truly love it. And there's projects that I buy because I truly love them. But if I'm going to invest in a project, there's 2 requirements it must have. First of all, I invest into people and I invest into technology. Okay. That is where I base myself off of. If this project is technologically breaking barriers in the space, or I really resonate with this person or get along with them or communicate with them well, those are 2 reasons why when they're all together, I really like to invest in the person, but I can still work both ways. But if I'm going to say rugs in the space, if you're going into the coins, learn to read smart contracts. If you're going into NFTs, learn to understand businesses. How a business works. That's even everything from PFP to one-of-one art to the reward system. These are all businesses. So recognize it as a business and take it as such.
Definitely. So what has been one of your most interesting experiences in working with NFTs?
I would say my experiences with working with NFTs range from always being involved with communities, helping other community members create, NFTs and everything like that for themselves so they can truly get a grasp. It's hard to come into a space like first of all, NFTs are a community. Okay. So it's hard to come in and buy an NFT if, you don't have anything of yours that you can, show to this community. Otherwise you're just hanging around and it seems like people are just trying to grab for your pockets. But it's not like that in generally community settings. Okay. Find people that you resonate with, find friends that you can trust, find people that you can, have a little bit of, rely on a little bit. And that's what's going to set you apart from, getting, into situations of rugged and experiences that I've had is I've never, I guess, been rugged. I mean, like, if you look at it from both ways, value wise, I haven't took huge losses. I've never missed an NFT that went from, $100 or something down to $5. It's, when people keep building behind these NFTs, it doesn't matter about the price. If you keep building, keep pushing it, and keep onboarding others onto your project, that is what keeps you successful in the space. And when you have people around you to help you, makes it that much easier.
Definitely.
So Doodlegenics is my bad. I was just going to say Doodlegenics is somebody in the space that I have worked a lot with, and education has come a lot from him and some other people in the space. But experience wise, I've met great people, great musicians, great artists, and what they're doing in their real life to bring value to these assets is with the value of these NFTs.
That's definitely what's up. Sure, the same question. What has been your most memorable experience when it comes to working with NFTs?
Most of my memorable experiences deal with the people in the community. Besides the work that goes on behind the scenes of actually like the strategies and stuff that are put into the roadmap and thinking out NFT projects, it's really the closeness and the bond that you build with the community and the fan base as you start to get engaged with them and you start to see things come to fruition, and the community actually sees it also. So I think that's and I think that's really one of the best overall experiences in dealing with NFTs is the unification and the bonding in the community, because you're able to have a reach far beyond just your city, your county, your state.
Definitely. And I think when it comes to any kind of community, it is so important when you're able to build real networking and not just come into a space and, just be there. When you're able to really build real networking and take things offline, which I say all the time, it is so important to take things offline so you can build real relationships and have a real life effect on people. And I'm glad I was able to talk to you gentlemen today. And shout out to Lukas for bringing y'all on, because I was able to really get the whole idea of that NFTs are more than just some artwork you see online or whatever. It actually is a community, and that's a whole different perspective than what a lot of people have heard about. I think we hear about the art pieces and stuff like that. We never really hear about the community piece of it. So it was really cool to be able to hear about that part.
Yeah, that's a great part of the NFT. The communities that are inside of these projects, the people that are inside of these projects. That again, you make a great bond, and you actually are able to improve your life standings, and things go better for you by being able to grow with like-minded people.
Most definitely.
Well,
So,
Dana, I wanted to say, I wanted to say, I really do appreciate you having us here and anything like that. And honestly, if you're going into the NFT space and you want to go buy your first thing, buy it because you truly buy it because you love it, buy it because you like the person. Don't look at, what this could be in 100 years.
I love it. So it's time I have to ask you first. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I guess I would say my legacy. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for the community. And really, we're in a world right now where unification is the only thing that I see that is strong enough to be able to conquer some of these larger things when it comes to the world, everything from politics to climate change to, even our, supply chains. And that's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. And Shorter, what do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah, I that want thing. Want is a strong four-letter word. I could want for a lot of shit, right? But I legacy is something that is something that is told by others, by actions that are done. So I can't determine what stories are told, but I can just try to make sure that there's a lot of good ones opposed to the negative ones. So I hope to leave a legacy of more positive than negative, so that my legacy will be positive.
Absolutely. It's time. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and book you.
Oh, I make that real easy. You can just Google The Real It's Time and you'll find my Twitter profile right there. Otherwise, you can go to Twitter and look up The Real It's Time. And I hang out with Doodlegenics, so make sure you look up doodlegenics.com and go find out, about what real NFT project would be.
And Shorter, same for you. Where can people find you, follow you, and book you?
Yeah, I run the Twitter streets. It's just I_Shorter with an A. It's SHORTA. That's the best place to communicate with me at right now. I'm a behind the scenes guy. So I communicate or I run through and in communities. So I'm pretty cool on who I communicate with and get booked by.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This was a really, really great conversation. And shout out to the fam Lukas for bringing you guys on today. So I really, when I talked to him, I was like, this is something that needs to be told to more people because nobody really understands when it comes to NFTs and cryptocurrency, and a lot of them have only heard bad things. So to be able to hear that it's more about building a community than anything else, and all you have to do is educate yourself before you invest, like anything else.
Well, you shouldn't. No, don't. You're not investing. You're buying. You're buying. Bad word is invest. You're not investing. You're buying something because you like it. Make sure you buy it. Don't buy your shirt unless you like it. Don't buy your shoes unless you like it. Don't buy that NFT unless you like it, the people, and the organizers of the NFT.
I can say better than that.
So definitely make sure you do your research before you buy anything.
NFTs are not an investment.
See, again, learning more. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You have an amazing day. Take care.
All right. Take care.